a little disgusted.
Yeah. I feel like I know who that should be.
Are you gonna say Lubu?
No, that's not Lubu. I feel like that is a guy I could in fact pursue, so that can't be Lubu.
Well, I mean, we are pursuing him, so...
Yep. No, that's, if these are guys are all Ray units, then that's the dude that, normally has the big old giant mace. I think in the games he has, like, kind of like a baby face. I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now. And I know you can picture him too, can't you?
Yes, I just can't remember his name.
Right. Also, it's been like forever since I played the game too, so that doesn't help. And even the last time I played it, I was playing Empires, which has to create a character, so I really didn't pay any attention to anybody's name in any way.
Yeah, that's...
Was it Zuzu? Zuzu. Yes. I'm probably wrong about who that actually is, but that's who I think it is. You may actually want to look this up when you edit these, by the way.
I mean, I could definitely try, but who knows if I'll find anything.
Oh, I think that's findable. Like, you could I bet GameFAQs probably has a write-up on it.
And there you go. You've got.
Ooh, that was dumb.
Got you with the spear. Only on horseback, though.
That is super weird.
Get the fire. Sorry, Tyrannus. What a name.
Tyrannus. Yeah, I really think that's Zuzu. And I'm pretty sure I'm massacring that name.
I was gonna say, how are you feeling about the new footage for Streets of Rage 4?
I haven't gotten to see it yet. Like, you just reminded me that I need to look at it. It's been a rough week. Things are broken at work. It's not good.
I mean, you work for an ISP, so...
Like, super broken.
Yeah, you work for an ISP, so...
No. You don't understand the difference between... When I say it's broken, I mean really, really broken. Like, really bad.
So just more broken than usual.
Yeah, way more broken than usual. Wait, oh shit, I'm sorry.
I mean, it's kind of weird because it seems to be kind of hit and miss on whether or not there's actually, like, friendly fire.
Yeah, there's definitely friendly fire, because I'm definitely sure that your light bar showed up under mine. I'm like, oh wait, that's wrong. That's not a thing I should be seeing. Oh, that's right, this game has a screen clear type move. Backbreaker!
It just doesn't really tell you.
Well, the only way that you can tell is that it'll show the life bar, the other person's life bar, see like that underneath my screen.
Yeah. Well, I mean the the special attacks.
Oh, that, yeah. Oh, that's another special move. How did I do that? Oh, down up.
Yeah, that's the only one I figured out so far. I know there's probably other ones.
Yeah, and then punch and jump together. There's a special move.
Isn't that just the screen clear?
Yeah, all around move. I'm pretty sure they're saying I just defeated an officer.
It's us, those three chicks from Strider.
Yep.
If you tried to tell me otherwise, I would not believe you.
Mm-hmm.
Is there only one
Where's
song
their
in
little
this game?
kick blade dealers?
I feel like we've heard the same song like the entire game.
You probably have. Oop. I just got stabbed. Intergender wrestling.
Not in this day and age.
Actually, we're kind of getting to the point we might get back there.
Who was it that mandated that before? Wasn't it Linda McMahon?
Probably. All I know is that at the Royal Rumble, a woman definitely got into the ring in the middle of the Royal Rumble and definitely took pretty much everybody's finisher that was there at the time. So they're definitely loosening up on that. I mean, they kind of have to, because like this year, they actually had the women main event in the show. That's definitely never happened before.
Things are getting crazy in the wrestling world.
Yep. You could be cynical and say that it's probably because Ronda Rousey's in it, but I honestly think their talent was good enough that it was going to happen eventually. They're just letting it happen a little bit faster. This is actually a really crazy WrestleMania year, I would have to say. Just so you guys know, that's when we're taping it, is like a week and a half before WrestleMania.
Only Striker do that for reference. I did not know it was WrestleMania.
Of course not. I don't expect anybody to know. I just ramble on it and hope nobody tells me to shut up.
Nobody can, because comments are just... I'm doing you a favor.
Nah, I defend myself. I don't have any problem with that. I do not give a shit. You gotta realize that.
Yeah, you do talk about wrestling on Twitter, which is pretty dangerous.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. I have to say, the one thing I'm getting tired of is that GIF of Cody Rhodes with his ear, with his hand on his ear, they keep using. Basically, there's like another company getting started. All Elite Wrestling, AEW.
Mm-hmm.
And Cody Rhodes used to be with WWE. The son of Dusty Rhodes is starting it. And he's kind of gotten, his group of people. They did a pay-per-view of their own a few months ago, about a year ago, called All In. And they're about basically doing another one. And they're going to try to make a whole nother show off of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so every time somebody even looks like they might not be doing well or about to quit, you get that picture of Cody Rhodes with his ear, zooming in on his ear, because like, oh, they're gonna go to AEW. And it's the most obnoxious thing, I swear. And I want AEW to do well. It's just like, guys, you're making me hate it. Stop it.
Well, I suppose as long as it's not Cody Rhodes himself posting it.
Man, I don't know how I would feel about that. I really don't. Like I said, Cody Rhodes is a good dude. I like the idea of there being some sort of competition, but I'm not entirely optimistic about the chances of it at this point. I kind of have to see where it goes. Because everybody's like, oh, we're gonna go head to head with WWE, and you don't do that in this day and age. Nobody's tried like for real for like a decade and a half.
Wait, is TNA still around?
TNA is still around. They're called Impact now, and they air on. Oh my God, what are they at now? They're on a channel called Pop for a while, and then I think they're on like some nature channel now. I forget what it's called exactly. All I know is that I don't have the channel that it's on. And so basically they realized that nobody has that channel, so they started airing they're simulcasting their stuff on Twitch now. Which is actually kind of smart.
Surprisingly so.
Yeah. Well, see, they had already been posting some of like their pay-per-views and stuff there. Like they had like some special like Basically, the same week as WrestleMania happens, there's this big convention called WrestleCon, and a lot of shows will kind of cross promote there. So they had a show at WrestleCon, and they put it on Twitch. And then after that, they started just showing their weekly show, their Impact show, on Twitch. And when they're not showing that, they're just showing like reruns of their older stuff. So, like I said, I'm very impressed by that. That's like very forward thinking. The only question is how they monetize it. Which I guess if you just run ads on it, and they can probably do the normal stuff that most like affiliates and up can do on it. So that's probably how they make money off of it. And honestly, it's even more interactive than, say, watching on TV or even having like a Twitter feed open for it would be. So you could tell right away if people aren't liking what's happening.
And people will let you know.
Real quick.
Definitely not something anybody has a problem with.
Attica.
Charles Attica?
I don't know. Oh man, this was actually a pretty interesting week for like straight up fanboy rage with regards to WWE. I will say that, and some of it was kind of warranted. So remember how I said that they're doing a women's main event?
Mm-hmm.
So the people who are in that main event are Ronda Rousey, of course, Charlotte Flair, Ric Flair's daughter. She's done a lot of stuff, but that's how most people are going to know her. And Becky Lynch. So one of the keys to this has been that everybody tends to think about Charlotte as basically getting everything because she's Ric Flair's daughter and she can just ask for stuff and stuff happens. That's not how it works in real life, but that's the story that they're going with. Nobody really has that kind of clout.
Not even Ric Flair.
Maybe Ric Flair does. I don't know. At least he can take bumps when he has to, and I don't know what else he really has. But basically, there are two brands. You have Raw and you have SmackDown, and this match I'm talking about is for the Raw Women's title. And who was holding the women's title on SmackDown was this wrestler named Asuka, Japanese wrestler. Before she came up, she was in NXT, their developmental group. That she basically was undefeated for like over a year. She broke Goldberg's undefeated streak.
Isn't she the one with like the pink hair?
Yeah, the pink and blue and green and purple and
the face paint.
Yes, and the loom themed attire. And basically people remember that, but they don't remember that half of those matches were ones where she gave whoever she was fighting like an actual chance, either because she was toying with them or just because they didn't want her to just like steamroll over people. But anyway, she got to the main roster. She fought Charlotte. She lost that match. And then she just kind of bounced around in like the tag scene for a while. And then she finally beat both Charlotte and Becky Lynch in a match, but it was mostly because Ronda Rousey got interfered and made it impossible for the other two to win. But then she wins the title. She finally gets one little bit by beating Becky Lynch, to defend it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just all of a sudden randomly, they were going to have this four-way to determine who was going to fight Asuka at WrestleMania. But instead they said, no, we're just going to get rid of that, and we're just going to have Charlotte fight Asuka. So we're thinking, well, surely this is just a match to showcase each person, and Asuka will defend and she'll go to WrestleMania. No, Asuka lost the match. And people were mad. They were so mad.
I can believe it.
Yeah, and I mean, if it had been just that one thing on its face, I don't think people would have been so mad about it. But the problem is that Asuka had such a hard time getting to where she was in the first place that they didn't. It felt like they didn't give her a chance because she actually hadn't been on the show, in a segment that was about her for like a month. So she already wasn't showing up. So like, for her to show up and then lose her title was just like a lot of people really saw it as a slap in the face. But the idea here is Charlotte's going to go into there. She's holding a title. Ronda has a title, but for some reason this match is not going to be for both titles. It's just for one of them.
Because reasons. Yes,
at least that's how it is so far. Maybe, there is one more week before the show happens, so like maybe that'll change. But it's kind of weird as is. And so then they put her in the Battle Royal and people got pissed about that. To me, it's like Becky Lynch, who is now in this main event and is the hottest person in the company right now. She was in the Battle Royal last year. So, it's not like she can't come back from that.
Mm-hmm.
She went from being in the Battle Royal to being like the hottest thing they have. Although for me, I like that women's match. I'm still really hyped for that. But they managed to throw an extra thing in there that I didn't expect them to be as big a deal. So Daniel Bryan, right?
Yes.
One of their biggest baby faces in the company. Well, he turned heel, and he's basically become the thing that he used to fight against. He has, in a sense, become the New York Yankees. And wrestling, you're laughing. Wrestling fans will get that even better than you did. That's a reference. But basically, he's become the champion, and he's the people's champion. So not the people's champion, the world's champion.
I was gonna say nobody else can be the people's champion. That belongs to one person.
He's he's like this militant vegan. And they changed all of his graphics. He got a belt that, he took the old belt that was, leather and metal and stuff, and he made a wooden belt with, turquoise and wood. And the strap is, made out of burlap. Let's see. Let's try Kassar for a bit. And, they even changed, the opening. They have, this little graphic whenever they have a title match.
Mm-hmm.
They even changed it specifically for his belt. It's got a great big old globe on it. It's the most glorious thing I've ever seen. So anyways, he's become the thing that everybody hates. Meanwhile, there's, you know who Kofi Kingston is?
Yes, part of the New Day.
The guy that, from the New Day, exactly. So, there's this other guy that was going to be in this gauntlet match a couple months ago. But he got hurt. Mustafa Ali, he got hurt, so then they put Kofi Kingston in his spot. And they basically booked it the same way that, they would have booked him, which is basically, he's going to do real good, but, he's going to get the crap kicked out of him in the process. And just never go down. So, Kofi took that spot, and he just absolutely killed it. He took it, and he made it his own. And so the narrative becomes, all right, so Kofi Kingston has been in the company 11 years. In that time, he's gotten a bunch of tag team championships. He's gotten all the lesser championships, your Intercontinental, your U.S. championships. He's probably one of the more decorated people in the company, but he's never won a heavyweight title. Never had a chance to even compete for one. Not in a singles capacity. When I first started watching, there was this match with another guy, Randy Orton, who's basically one of their perennial top card guys. And Kofi won that match, but it was panned as a surprise. Nobody thought that Kofi should ever be able to beat this guy. And the only reason that he won was because Randy was messing around. So it was this complete and total shock. And that was one of the first matches of his that I remember when I was watching. So now he's part of this team, but at the same time he gets in this, title contention. But then Vince starts screwing around with, Vince McMahon starts screwing around with him. They put him in a title match and they say, okay, yeah, he's going to have this match. And then they're like, well, no, actually, we're going to switch you out for somebody else. So they're pissed about that. But okay, so then later on, Vince says, okay, Kofi's like, I deal with all your bullshit. I don't feel like talking about whether I earn it or not. Just tell me what I got to do so I can get in this match. So Vince is like, okay, well, you can have this. You have to fight in this gauntlet match against literally everybody, like every single heel in the company.
Makes
so
sense.
he goes through this gauntlet match. Yeah, so he goes through this gauntlet match. He beats the last guy. They New Day come out. They celebrate, and Vince comes back out and says, "No, we got one more match." And out comes Daniel Bryan, and Kofi is like dead on his feet. He still fights and fights and fights, but he loses. So he loses his shot. So then, over that week, not only do they show, the New Day being pissed about it and talking about maybe quitting, the other two members of the team literally post videos on their Twitters talking about how they're going to quit. And they're like the most heartfelt things. And again, I don't know if you know this, but Kofi Kingston happens to be black. And they have leaned into the context of that because there have been, depending on what you consider to count, there have either been no black WWE champions or there has been exactly one, and that was 17 years ago.
It's been a hot minute.
It's been a hot minute. So we're talking about The Rock here. Basically, The Rock is half black, half Samoan, and some people don't count him as a black champion mainly because whenever it comes up to talk about him, they don't talk about the fact that he's half black. They talk about the fact that he's Samoan. Even though The Rock himself actually does identify as being both.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, even if you go by that criteria, there's been exactly one, and it's been 17 years. And the title's been around for like 70-something years. And they've been like, people like us, we don't usually get championships, and there's a glass ceiling for us in this company. So yeah, they're posting about this stuff, and then they come out like they're going to quit on the next show, but then Vince says, okay, Kofi can't do it, you're not going to get another chance. So then he puts the other two members of the team in a gauntlet match to determine if Kofi can be in the title match. And they win. They actually win. Even though they add another person to the match.
As Vince is wont to do.
Yes, and they basically had Daniel Bryan and his stooge Rowan come out, and they fought even though they were like dead. One of the things that was kind of neat was there's this other team that they have a kind of a long-standing rivalry with called the Usos. And like basically for the last year prior to this, just about every tag title match probably either had the Usos or the New Day or both of them. And they just put on some amazing stuff. But they came out of it with like a respect for each other, and so when the Usos had to come out and fight the New Day for this gauntlet, they just said, "Screw it, fans like them, we like them. Kofi deserves his title shot. We forfeit." So they just quit. They just, they don't have any reason to be in it because they already have the titles. They already can go to WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
They have no reason to actually, fight in this thing. So they just gave up and left.
I'm going to stop you there for a sec.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, next time on Radical Bromance, wrestling. And,
of course.
And also China, I guess.